as we get closer and closer to our lovely Lionsgate Portal Peak on 888, well, 88, not 8, 2023, 5-7, so 887. It'll be 888 next year. Get ready for that one. That's, I'm sure, going to be amazing. So for lovely 5D mystics, and these would be functional adults. So people who are compassionate beyond a reason. That means they have had the opportunity to become the optimized version of a human being's body and mind, which is thank you to the lovely updated mental health community of lovely psychoeducators that I get to learn from, and neuroscience community. Those are educational courses that I take from my own reading material, so not courses just yet, but thanks to a group of beautiful mental health as well as just, human. So even biology, I just found from a couple of theoretical biologists, I think that's the right word, I forget, how evolution is not about fixing things. It actually reorganizes or reevaluates, it's something, which 5D mystics, you're all on board with this one. So our lovely 5D mystics always impart the wisdom of all subject matters. Ancients and science come together. We, in fact, don't see competition when it comes to learning about crystals, whether it be from our crystal therapy or from the geology people that explain why the crystals have properties. They both come together. They don't make them less special just because they can explain vibration, such as sound, right? And so, for example, I learned that colors are actual sounds or vibrations, or there's a code. In fact, all energy can be coded. Like right now we have technology that has this ability. So I forget what subject matter it is, but it doesn't make mysticism any less special. In fact, we don't have to demystify, but we can demystify. This is the part where 5D mystics, again, we're not like, oh, I'm less special now that clairs can be explained. No, actually it's great to say it's not supra or supernatural to be able and channel guidance, to be able and read tarot, to be able and also connect to those lovely Akashic records and give readings there. Things that I do, raise your hand. Or be a Reiki master, which there is still a process. All of these aspects have their process. As for Akashic records, some of us are self-taught, and it works really, really great because the 5D body type does not actually dissociate when we are engaged in channeling. Unlike what I call the 4D body type, because I have friends that are 4D bodies and 4D minds, and they still believe that evil exists. Because when they're experiencing what neuroscience have broken down into 4 aspects that take place for those of us who optimize and connect to this lovely field of energy. It's a collective consciousness. Again, it's energy. There's no other word to use. I know some people want to give it an entity. It's not alive. It's energy. So it has plus, minus. It's pull, push, pull. It's mathematics. That's why I can't wait to read about quantum physics. I can add that verbiage for my 5D mystics. Because the 4D, they don't like to hear this stuff. They like to think that some are anointed and others are not. That some are lighthouses and others are not. And instead, we're all light or not. Really, we're Newtonian bodies, as some would say, not the physical particles or small particle. That's inside the body. But I'm a Newtonian body right here. As you can see, I'm a person who's speaking to you. If I was only my small particles, you would not see me, and I would not be enjoying life as a human being named Maria. And I am a person. So again, lovely neuroscience, how they explain the religious self reorganization. Thank you, Patrick McNamara. That one's really great. So the 4 aspects of what happens when we are channeling, and they don't use the word channeling, but essentially those, again, who are 5D mystics, you're following along because this is for you, not for the ones who can't follow along. It's okay. I speak stupid language. It's called pseudoscience. There you go. So you can scurry off and go actually get Patrick McNamara. The other neuroscience dude, reach out. I'll send you the name of the link and you can go watch his video. It's really awesome. And there's a whole institution, foundation that's doing a bunch of research. I'm sure that the people who believe in certain aspects think already they know exactly who these people are, all that kind of good stuff. And on that note, back to selflessness, timelessness, effortlessness, richness. So as this lovely portal makes its way, the energy of this lion, the Leo, is out of all these zodiac signs, I found out the one who protects. Now, to protect means you need to have a roar, but to have a roar And the actual true roar way is not to fear people into their fear. Reptilian, because we're people, we're mammals, we're not actual cold-blooded. I know some people like to think that we are, but that's the people who don't know how to be in their optimized human being version. So when you have integration of the mind, I forgot to mention, that is where all hands are on deck. So your mind, your left and right mode, they are all hands on deck. And our lovely default mode network, it's down regulated. That default mode network is what scans for those who don't feel safe around other people. And that's because they have the adaptive child with the safety behaviors / the maladaptive responses once they're adults, because they're projecting. So the lions who roar with the adaptive child are projecting their hero and villain story, or their rescuing story, or whatever it is that they're playing out. Their idealization of what type of family, what type of everything, all that they would want as a human being, which is very straightforward. That we can very much see the ego of that person when they're coming at you with their, and they usually won't be like, you know what, I'm so sorry. That tone, I could have taken it down a notch. Let's try it again. The adults, that's where the true roars are. So the true roars are where it's a firm roar, one, that's it. And in fact, because it's not like a BS one, and it's usually going to be repeated again in a very specific ventral vagal nervous system. I forgot. So the default mode network is downregulated for the 5D mystics, which is why when we are having our supernatural, which aren't so supernatural, in the moment of selflessness, timelessness, and effortlessness, and we're having in our mind's eye things happening when we're channeling guidance, whatever it is that people do. So this is where I was saying 5D mystics, we don't dissociate. We're present, aware, and we know what we're seeing because it's images in our mind's eye. And they're not vivid and taking over because we're not in a body that doesn't know how to regulate itself in a restorative embodied self. In fact, we are in that, which is also the homeostasis of every human being's body. Now, the fun thing is, without yoga, I only did yoga personally for a short time because I promised it to Sadhguru, and now whenever I get to, I do, but I don't always. And nothing has diminished in my capacity to be here sharing the Enlightenment Soul Age Group voice and the 5D Mystic story and how to tap into your infinite higher human consciousness potential experience, because the lovely 5D educators are already doing a great job for those who only believe in science. And that's why we're like, yes, everybody can know how to optimize their brain, and that means their inner well-being, and that is a high five all over the place. Because what humans would want if they really want to help each other. So some people say, I want to help people. And then when they find out these are experiences, that the person who can't lay down and stay still won't benefit from the therapy that you're trying to now impose on them, because you got a vision, an image of what you want to look like to please, appease maybe society, your daddy, your mommy, who knows who. And you saying, no, I'm going to lay them down, versus hearing the fact that a person who has difficulty sitting still might need some support, understanding the maladaptive / safety behavior responses that their body is still storing. But apparently you who want to help people don't give a shit about that. Very bad psychology, people. And this is, in fact, a person who has a license. I don't, and I don't want one. But what I do know is I won't want that therapist to help people who have unresolved trauma, heartbreak, gut-wrenched, torn apart, because he wants to lay them down. And then with his little notebook and his little glasses, and he described this is amazing when somebody can say, I want to help people, and then they describe to you what they look like. So unless you're a fool with a tool, which is where some people with those blinders on, the adaptive child, they're all blinders, because there's an inner child and there's a projection. And imagining what I want as I like and dislike versus the world is made from 8 billion people, a lot of different subject matter experts, which is why we're not competing. Mysticism is a person who has the ability to tap into a sphere of energy that is invisible to the eyes. Luckily, we have technology. So while the lovely, lovely ancients did a great job at sharing all their information, and they still do, that's why it's called yogic science. We have Buddhism, psychology. There's a lot of beautiful coming all together. And here's where, on this lovely 2023, the 5D mystics are happy to see the 5D educators and the 5D mystics coming together to say, we're all special. We can all love with a roaring lion's heart, restored embodied self, integration of the mind, the optimal inner well-being of a person, and then functional adult, love language, always, so tune on in for more.